Today I will show an updated starter pack for both GP5 and GP50. Since a lot of people have asked me to update my presets to Valeton GP-50, I basically decided that I will make a free update and everyone who bought my GP5 starter pack will get this one for free. However, there's more. Basically I recreated most of the NAM files, I've improved the presets and made the whole import process a little bit easier. To begin with, there are 10 presets: 80s clean, jazz clean, Matchless, funky rhythm, rock rhythm, Team Pierce, SLO 100, modern metal, 5150 and lead tone. And if you're familiar with my work, basically I try to make my presets as plug and play as possible. So if you're struggling with your Valeton tones, you can basically get this, upload it into your Valeton and you should get the same sound that you're hearing in that video. Currently I am plugged straight into the GP-50 and basically I am recording the headphone out straight into my audio interface and I'm basically recording direct signal straight from the GP-50. So you're not hearing any alteration, any mixed tone. No, basically this is a tone that you should be able to hear on your headphones. And today I'll be using my PJM 301 Paul Gilbert guitar with swapped pickups. Actually those are tone zones by DiMarzio. And those are basically my settings. On both GP5 and GP50 they are basically stock. If the tones will have not enough gain or too much gain, you can mess with that input level. So to keep things fairly simple, it will lower the gain. So, for example here, it's way lower, and here, way too much, okay? But unless you don't have like active pickups or really low output single coil pickups, you should be good with 0. Okay, to begin with, first the 80s clean, and this is a preset that I've changed quite a lot because in the first version it was a NAM file and right now I am using an IR. So basically what we'll have to do, you will need to import an IR file, and to do it you have to go here and import IR file. That is included in that pack. So in that case it will be an 80s clean, and next you'll have to import a corresponding preset. In that case it will be a preset 55. Why I did it? Because basically in GP50 this is the first empty preset. So make sure to import this preset into 55 or all of those presets into slots 55 to 64 and import IR file with volume at 100. And you may ask why using IRs instead of NAMs? Mostly because when I was doing a NAM file of that profile it sounded way off, so I used an IR instead. Okay, and here's what it sounds like. So very clean tone. And actually the tone that I was aiming for is from Just Take My Heart by Mr. Big, and I'm basically using a 4th position in Ibanez PGM, and it sounds like this. Unluckily I won't show you the settings of the chorus because it's probably the most time-consuming preset that I've ever made on Valeton, because the stock chorus kinda sucks. Mostly because it's not stereo, but I try my best to make it sound as good as possible. So this is the first preset and I'm not actually doing anything on those switches, but of course if you want you may go here to foot switch settings and for example, I don't know, turn off the delay on a switch number 1 or add distortion, I don't know why, but you may do something like this. So you can mess with that if you want, but I wanted to keep it fairly simple. Okay, next the jazz clean tone, and it's based on George Benson Give Me the Night tone. It's not exactly the same because basically I am using like a shredder guitar, not a jazz one, but you know, it's working fairly good. And here's one trick: when I'm turning on this foot switch, it's basically turning on a rotary. Another switch is doing basically nothing. Okay, now the tone based on Matchless DC, and it sounds like this. So the first switch is basically boosting the signal, and also I am adding a ping pong delay. And on another switch I've got a distortion actually to get a little bit more gain, and it sounds like this. So, pretty cool crunch and lead tone. Okay, next up the basic funky rhythm tone, and I am actually using an EQ to boost a lot of high end. So if you've got a Strat, you should basically turn this off. It is basically turning off the EQ section. So it sounds like this, and with EQ, it's like this. And right now let's add a little bit of delay. And I was using a 4th position of PGM. Next, rock rhythm. Next, one of my favorite Tonex tones that I've created years ago is based on one of the Tim Pierce tones. And if I remember correctly, it was made on my Soldano SL100 with crunch settings. And it sounds like this. A little bit more distortion. Next I have a tone based on one of my personal amps, and it's an SL100 clone, so one of my favorite amps, and the tone I'm always aiming for when I'm doing any kind of like high gain tone. And here's what it sounds like. It's insane. It's insane for me that you can get those tones on such a cheap device. I would be so happy to have a similar tone when I started out. You have no idea. Next we've got the modern metal, and I've created two basic tones. First one is based on Bulb Breeze, and another one I kinda matched Gojira L'Enfant Sauvage. I've probably pronounced it completely wrong.
L'Enfant Sauvage.
But basically a Gojira tone. So let's start with a Bulb one, and here's what it sounds like. So kind of tight, and right now let's go to the Gojira version. This is not available on GP-5 because of 1-foot switch, but if you want you can also add a delay. Next we've got the PV-5150, and it's based on PV from 1994 that I've profiled a few years ago, and it sounds like this. And finally, the lead tone, and here's what it sounds like. And that's pretty much it. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and if you want, leave a like under this video and subscribe to my channel. I'll probably make some more tutorials for GP-50 and GP-5 because a lot of people seem to have a lot of problems with those devices. So I'll try my best to do it in upcoming weeks, and I will see you quite soon. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!